energetic or a bit more enthusiastic response from the audience, because I was just going through a bit information about this, I will say a very unique institution, and it has a very glorious past, present, and I could see glorious future as well. So in that capacity, in that context, I was expecting a very warm response from you, but it was lower than that. So I'll again check your energy level. I'll again check your mindful status, whether you are mentally present here or not. So I'll again, wish a very good morning to all of you. Okay, so yeah, we should make a point. Whatever we are doing with passion, with involvement, and with interest. Okay, having said this, respected Principal Madam on the dais, Dr. Rajeev Kumar Choudhary, Shri Thomas Dominic ji, our beautiful and very energetic friends doing the anchoring part, beautiful and lovely audience, all our learned and experienced teachers and friends. So, first of all, let me express my heartfelt thankfulness as well as gratitude to Manorama family as well as the school administration for simply and precisely giving me this opportunity, so that I can also have apart from normal office works, I can also have a wonderful opportunity to learn new things. If I can get also some new ideas, so unlearn the old things. And if I am getting the same kind of good ideas, then relearn the things again. So this kind of programs or paripadi are actually a way or opportunity to learn, unlearn and relearn. So in that context, let me express my gratitude to all the people who are involved in the conduct of this program. Secondly, let us also remember, recognize, appreciate the ideals and all the good teachings of the founder of this institution, Saint Teresa, if I am correct. So this kind of programs also give us opportunity to remember the good works and the ideals and teachings and learnings of our forefathers, so that we can remember them and try to implement them in the present and future. At the same time, let me also appreciate and recognize the work that Manorama in different capacities is doing for the society and for the humanity. And actually, when I was entering into the premise of the building, before we enter into the principal's office, I think there is a board on the wall. It is written vision, mission and goal of the school. So vision was to empower the students, to empower the society and humanity, and create a civilization of love. So in that capacity, I see and I appreciate the works of our Manorama family, that we all should all try our best to create this very beautiful statement, civilization of love. So that part will come. So having expressed this formal thankfulness and gratitude, let me come to the main part. So it is written in your program schedule that it should be a keynote address interactive session. So first, as per the formal protocol and procedure of any this kind of program, I'll share my ideas within 5 or 10 minutes. Right. After that, we'll go for the interactive session, because I was told by the organizers that there are various kinds of queries, questions and doubts regarding the civil services, regarding the preparation of civil services, why we should go for civil services, what do we mean by civil services, and how we can fulfill our dreams and our aspirations by becoming a civil servant. So So all those things we'll discuss and we will try to sort out during our interactive session, right? So instead of going in a monologue manner, I just start my journey right from my village time and after that what I did. That. Instead of that, we'll make it more interactive and discussion based, in which you can ask any kind of question. So I will be very happy to answer accordingly, instead of giving it a kind of a story. Okay, before this, just 3 or 4 points I just want to share with you as a general point. Even if we are not aspiring to be a civil servant, even if we are aspiring to become any other person in our life in terms of professional life, or simply whether we are not or whether we don't want to do anything, we want to become the most laziest person of the world, and whatever capacity we are trying to live our life. So in that context, 3 or 4 things quickly I will try to share with you. So first, let me start with the planning part. So what I believe, so I am telling on the basis of my experience till now, experience of my preparation as well experience of 4 years in service. On that basis, I will be just sharing few things. First part, you can say first step in any kind of journey we are taking is planning part. Planning, if we simply want to understand the planning, it means whenever we are going to do any work, or wherever we are making any kind of journey start. So in that context, first part comes how we will go about that entire process that we are going to do in the future. For example, today we are having this program. So to have this program on time, that is 10:30 today in this premise, definitely some kind of background work has gone into this. Like a few of the our learned members from Manorama family, they have contacted the person that who has to be invited, and this kind of music system, all that. I mean, the basic kind of planning was there. So what is the? So this is I am just explaining what do we mean by planning by giving our real life example. So then next important thing, what is the benefit of having a plan? So I will relate this with the same thing. For example, if this program would not have been planned in any way, then we would not have been going like this. Maybe you are not ready by 10:30. Maybe the cameraman, our friends here, they are also not ready by 10:30. We don't have a program schedule that who will speak first, who will speak after that, who will propose the vote of thanks. So if that kind of minimum plan is not there, then our journey will become directionless. It will become purposeless. There will be no purpose, no direction, where to go. Am I right? If you want to start from Kottayam and want to go to Divisional, right? If you don't have a plan like which route I will take, whether I will go from Changaseri, Tiruvalla, Kollam route, or whether I will take the LMP wala, that NH wala route, or you don't have a plan that by which vehicle I will go, whether I will use my Sundamai Vandi, that personal vehicle, or whether I will go by bus, KSRTC, roadways bus, our government facility, or whether I will take train, or whether I will go to Kochi and have a flight. So if these kind of, I will say, minimum required planning is not there, then our journey will become directionless. Then at the end of the day, believe me, you will start from Kottayam. Since you are not clear about your route, about your transportation option, then you will roam here and there, and evening by evening you will again come back to Kottayam only. Or maybe you will be lost somewhere, somewhere. So in that case, you will become directionless, and once we become directionless, we will not reach to our desired destination. So this first piece of advice, please have a minimum required plan in whatever you are doing. Whether you are doing a 10th class, 11th class, 12th class, whether you are planning for a single day holiday trip or something. So my simple advice my experience is that please have a minimum, I will use the word minimum required plan. Okay, first. Second step, after having a plan, I think equally or more than equally important is the execution oblique implementation of plan. Am I right? So, if you make a plan, okay, in 1 week, I am giving a real life example. So, for example, in 1 week, we have planned to finish the book of physics, for example. Or sometimes we become very ambitious. We call it highly ambitious. We want to finish all the books in this week itself. I will finish the entire syllabus of 12th class in 1 week. This kind of highly ambitious, sometimes we are highly ambitious plannings we are having. But I think this is an important thing. We should have that plan. But believe me, equally important is to execute that. So by giving this 7-day, this book reading wala example, what point I want to make, I'm trying to make is, try to make a plan that is practical also. Plan should be practical also. Right? So in 7 days, we know that as per our capacity, or as per the capacity of universe, because universe has created the human beings. So in that case, the human beings have a limitation. In 1 week, we can finish or accomplish a certain amount of work only. We cannot complete everything. Otherwise, there is no need for human civilization. So in 1 week, the nature as well as universe has fixed a certain kind of, a capacity foundation of the human being. So accordingly, we also should be aware about individual and personal capacity, how much we can complete in 1 week, how much we can complete in 7 days, and how much we can complete in 1 month or 1 year. Right? So accordingly, when you are making a plan, please also focus and also try to understand the practical and the implementation part of that also. So our plan should be practical, so that if that plan is not completed, we should not be in a state of despair and depression. Am I right? So second part, make a plan, and equally important, please try to implement that plan in terms of practicability also. Right? Second thing, third step in this. Okay, we have made a plan, we are implementing it, we are executing it to the best of our ability. But how we will assess, analyze, or in a sense, how we will evaluate our performances. How we will evaluate that whatever we are doing as per our plans, as per our strategies, whether that is going in the right direction or not. How we will do it? So I will again give a real life example. For example, you are having examinations, maybe half yearly or yearly or annually. Am I right? Are you having? So I am asking a simple question. Are you having monthly, half yearly or annual examinations? Yes. Okay, so it's not a difficult question, right? Okay, please give me the second answer. I'll ask a question. When you are having this kind of this examinations, so your teachers or your faculty is checking the paper? Yes. You are giving, you are given the marks also? Yes. So for example, what's your good name? Aravind. So for example, in a half yearly exam in physics, you have the subject physics. Physics, Aravind has got 90 out of 100. I am assuming that you are a studious student, okay? I am giving you 90. So suppose Arvind is getting 90 marks out of 100 in half yearly. His teacher has given that. And in the examination, what you call examination sheet, there is a remarks also of the teacher, where your marks have been deducted. So that is an evaluation by teacher. And in that evaluation, it has come to the notice, it has come to the conclusion that in these kind of questions, there is a mistake by Arvind. So, Arvind is expected to correct, Arvind is expected to work upon those shortcomings or those development areas where he has to improve upon. So, he is expected. So, if he works upon those areas, for example, physics, you are struggling with law of motion or something, Newton's law of motion, I think. So you are struggling with that. So if exam at the end of the year, you have corrected that mistake. Now the question comes, and you have given a more better and authentic reply. So you will get more marks. Am I right? So the figure or the tally will rise to 95 maybe. I don't know how strict your teachers are, but I am 95. So 95 out of 100. So 6 months back, he was getting 90. Now he is getting 95 because there was an evaluation by the outer agency, and on the basis of the remarks given by the outer agency, that particular individual or person has improved upon, and as a result of that, he is now having the better results than the previous time, the previous examination. Do you agree or not? So, third piece of advice, friends, I want to put in front of you is that please always have this kind of mechanism where our performances, be it professional terms, like as a student we are having a profession of what you call reading and studying. Similarly, I am having a profession of a civil servant as an IAS officer. So there are people to evaluate me also. Apart from this, I want to link with this personal life also, because we also, as a human being, life is not limited to as a student only. Life is not limited to as a principal only, not an editor-in-chief only, not as a IAS officer only. I think life is a much more bigger stuff than just being a professional entity. Am I right? So in that capacity, friends, along with professionals, in your personal life also, have a good company of friends. It may be friends, it may be teachers, it may be your parents, it may be your relatives, or it may be anyone else who can evaluate your life. Although it's not a formal process like giving examination, but informally, by talking, by meeting, by chatting, by having a video calls or voice calls, whatever be the mode, but they can evaluate our journey of life, and if there is some kind of requirement of anything for improvement, they can give us an honest feedback, and as a sincere individual or as a sincere lover of life, we can try to improve upon those areas. So this is a third piece of advice. Fourth and last part is, I'll call it Atma Chintan, Atma Manthan, or in English we call it self-introspection. Because fine, somebody else as a third party can give a feedback to us, there's nothing wrong in that. But I believe when we have been given a chance to live as a human being on the earth by universe, by God, by Almighty, then equally we have the capacity or the ability to think about ourselves at least. Why I am born as a human being? What is my purpose of life? Why I am doing this work? Why I am speaking in front of you? Right? What is be my future if I go by same pace? What is the quality of life I am living? Sometimes these things seems very philosophical, but believe me, it's very, very important and required. Because once this part is okay, then only professionally we will be giving our best to the society, to the humanity. Then only we can create the civilization of love. So, fourth piece of advice is, please also inculcate, please also develop a habit in which you can by yourself, or we can by ourselves, can introspect about our journey of life. What we were 5 months back, what we are today, and if we go as it is, then who will be and what will be our future after 6 months. Am I right? So that kind of, so for this also, rocket science is not required. No degree of any something motivational, any degree or diploma is not required. At least we are having a 24 hours in a day. So at least 2 minutes. I don't see the difficulty in finding 2 minutes. 2 minutes we can have any time before going to bed. After waking up in the morning, in the washroom, wherever, it's 2 minutes. It's I think it's not that difficult. We can have it 2 minutes. Just introspection of what I'm doing, and have it positively. Am I right? So this is a fourth piece of advice. So first I told, please have a minimum required planning, whatever you are doing. Second, please try to implement or execute the plan that you have made. Third, please have a mechanism or some kind of process in which you can get your work evaluated by some kind of third party, which you think is absolutely authentic. And fourth, also please develop this habit of self-introspection, where you by yourself can have a look and a review of your own life, the what you call the journey of your life, so that the ultimate objective, I think we all are here that civilization of law. I'm very impressed with this. We can create this kind of small but very powerful, I'll say, the stories of life. Okay, so this was from my side. Now we can open the floor for questions or for the interactive session, if the organizers don't have it.
I'm Sharon Felix. I'm studying here in 11th, and I'd like to ask you a question. At what point one should start the preparations for civil services seriously? Should that start from school?
So the question is very specific in what time I started. So I remember I was in my village. I belong to a small village in district Alwar, the state is Rajasthan. So in Rajasthan at that time there was a program by the state government way back in 2003. That program was called Night Hold Program. So in that program, all the district level officers, including the district collector, superintendent of police, here we call it district police chief, or other head of the departments, were directed by the government to go and visit the last villages in the rural areas, and the officers were also directed to stay there to better understand the ground reality. So in that context, the then district collector of Alwar, I still remember the name, Mr. Kumar IAS. So now he is some secretary in the state government of Rajasthan. He came to our village, and like this, the kind of session I am having with you. So he was also having the same kind of session with the villagers. At that time I was a kid only, the 3rd class. So that was the beginning of that dream or the thought which came to my mind. I also have to be in such a service or a profession. So that was the beginning. First answer to your first point of your question. Second point was whether we should start in school. So I will say that there is no standard or any fixed time period we have to start from this time onwards only. No, life is not having that kind of categorization year-wise, right? So, for example, if we want to be a good human being, then we cannot start like after 20 years. Okay, from 21st year, I will become a good human being. Before that, I will be just right? Okay, so for this also, I'll say, yeah, you can start anytime. Anytime means school. School also includes 6th, 7th, 8th, or 1st, whatever, 11th, 12th, be it your degree, graduation part, be it your post-graduation, be it your PhD. Yeah, people are even entering into the serving as at the age of 21, as well as by the ex-serviceman quota 30 as the age of 35 also. So, to cut the long story short, my answer to your specific question is, you can start anytime. There is no such time limit. Although, so your answer has been given to the points, right? Although you have not asked, but let me also cover the other aspect of the same question, like what is the benefit of or what is the positive sides of starting preparation right from the school days, or if we start at the degree level, then what are the benefits? So let me tell you just a simple point from our real life example only. On that basis, I believe that you will get my point. So for example, you have come here and you have asked your question. Okay, what does it mean? Although it's a very small activity, if we say prima facie, pakshe, but you have come here and asked your question in front of I think 400 or 500 odd audience. It means that you have that confidence and courage to speak out your thoughts, your question, your emotions. Right? So tomorrow when you will be appearing for the civil services interview, it is called personality test. That will be having a total marks of 275. So that you have to go, in which what you have to do? You will go and you will appear in front of a board of 5 members which you have never met. So they are totally unfamiliar and unknown to you. So you are in a no man's land. You are going there, they are asking questions left and right from anywhere in the world. And you are going there and you are replying to their questions. On that performance, that half an hour or 45 minutes discussion, they will give you the marks. On that basis, you will be selected. So for that, preparation is starting from these kind of events only. How you are able to, or how you are utilizing the opportunities in this kind of programs, where somebody is doing the anchoring, somebody is doing some other kind of management activity. Somebody is asking questions, somebody is taking other kind of responsibility. So on that time, it seems very minuscule, very small, chiria only. But this, he is just asking a question, what is the benefit of this? How? By asking a simple question, you will become an IAS officer. So if you look like this, then it's very difficult. But as we said, from small things only big things happen. So this kind of participation in these kind of activities will boost your confidence. Tomorrow, when you will be very confident and you are very, self-insured, then you don't need to go for any coaching. The coaching time will be saved, money will be saved because you have worked for the last 10 years. So you will simply go and appear in the interview. You will get the marks, you will be selected. So this is the third part. Whenever you are starting, you will start with this thought in mind. Today maybe the results are not visible, but say it will be visible. Okay?
Morning, sir. My name is Rose Korean from 11th grade, studying in Mount Carmel Division. So civil service is the most important exam conducted by the UPSC. So my question is, what do you think? What are the qualities do you think that UPSC is looking in their candidates, looking for?
I think this question is very simple, but the answer is very, sometimes complicated. Question is very simple. What kind of qualities? So all kind of qualities. Okay, so let me give a specific answer. So I'll put it like this. UPSC, before conducting the exam, every year is issuing a notification. Right? For example, in our schools, we have that exam notice. From this date, exams will be there. From this date, practical exams will be there. Chemistry lab, physics lab, bio lab. Right? So similarly, UPSC every year is issuing a notification. It's a long notification, lengthy one. In both it's bilingual, Hindi or English. So in that, UPSC is writing few things and not writing many things. Right? So what they are writing in the notification is required. What they are not writing, that they are not required. That is what you call commonsensically understood. Right? So let me explain it further. Notification says that anybody who is 21 years old, first. Second, who has done or he who has completed the graduation. What? Graduation. So just try to understand graduation and who is citizen of the India. Right? So there are three conditions only. Now if you look at this, so
the answer to your question, what kind of qualities UPSC is looking for? So as per their written notification, only these three things are required. You should be a citizen of India. You should be 21 years old at the time when you are appearing in the exam or you are filling the form. Then you should have a graduation degree. So in this also, they are not saying that you should have BTech, you should have BSc only, you should have done MBBS, BA first. They are not saying that you should have a regular degree or you should have a correspondence, distance learning wala degree. They are not telling that it should be from Mumbai or it should be from Delhi or it should be from Kerala. They are not telling anywhere, right? They are not telling whether it should be in the English medium or whether it should be in the Hindi medium or it should be any other medium. No. They are simply telling you should be 21 years of age. You should have a graduation degree and you should be citizen of India. Please go through the notification because I appeared in the 5 years back exam. So if there is any change, so don't take me literally. You can just verify. But these three things are there. Still I believe. So I am just putting inverted commas. So if any change is there, you can go through. But broadly these three requirements are there. Now, so coming to your second portion of your question. So in this qualification or this eligibility criteria, whatever kind of qualities you are having, they will accept. What qualities? First, as I discussed the answer to my first question, your ability to communicate. Obviously, communicate in two ways, orally and in writing. Because orally you have to appear in an interview of 275 marks, right? For that you have to orally speak, orally communicate. Second, you will be having a 1750 marks written exam, right? So for that your communication skill through writing on paper should be strong. So that is the first requirement. Communication skill, writing as well as speaking. Second, obviously they are asking for a person who has a clarity of thought, right? Clarity of thought means why you want to join civil service. Simple. Why you want to join civil services? So believe me, it's a very simple question. But I'll give you what you call 10 days to give me the answer. It's equally difficult because sometimes we are not that much clear about why we want to do that or this particular act or activity. Right? So first, obviously communication skill. Clarity of thought, discipline. So there is a word called OLQs, officer-like qualities. You can see anywhere, right? It is not written in the notification by UPSC, but it is understood that when you are becoming an officer, these kind of qualities will be required equally, right? Like this communication skill, discipline, dedication, devotion, all kind of things. So I am not going into those details. You can read anywhere. The net or where, what are the OLQs, officer-like qualities. But I wanted to stress upon that point of notification because this will give you a sense of motivation. This will give you a sense of what you call satisfaction. Yeah, only this much of requirements are there. I am also having this. Why I cannot become a civil servant? In that context, this notification is important to take inspiration, right? Otherwise, your question is what kind of qualities? So all kind of officer-like qualities, discipline, communication skill. Then you should be devoted, dedicated. The samarpanam bhav, clarity of thought, like this, right? Finishing the work on time. So the completion of project within the time limit. All these are required. Okay?
My question is, what is your motivation to prepare for the civil service?
Motivation. My motivation. My motivation to prepare civil services so that I can come and motivate you. So my motivation is to motivate others. Simple. Simple means just motivation to prepare civil services.
So as I told you that I was inspired by that particular event of visit of one IAS officer into my village. So since I belong to such a state where there is a huge role of the administration in having the impact on the lives of the people, be it health, education and all. So I was motivated by that fact. Once I be in the service, then definitely I try my best. We call it Paramamadi Sramikyam. So to ensure these kind of facilities. Second, definitely I also believe that if we have got motivated by somebody else's activities, then it's now time to give back to the society to motivate others, to motivate Nikhil. Okay? Hope I answered your question. Right?
Good morning, sir. I am Mariam Soni from 12th grade and I am studying at Mount Carmel High Secondary School. And my question is, after being an IAS officer, how much space do you get to work independently under political pressure?
So, you are from school or you are from Milan? Just lightly, he's kind of, journalist question. It's a good, interesting question. Okay. So I will also give you the interesting answer. Please sit. So see, it's not about, I think, pressure or independency or not independency. I think we should be very clear that what do you mean by politician? So the word is not politician, the word is public representative. That is the word, right? So when you are giving the respect or when you are following or obeying the direction of the public representative, it's not about one individual. See, for example, I was the returning officer for Pudupalli Niyojak Mandal, okay? Honorable former CM Mohammed Chandi sir was the candidate, right? So now he is elected MLA from there. So it's not about that. It's not about one individual. I think 2 or 3 lakh people have voted, right? So if we see that a position or the designation or that post from this perspective, this is a chair or this is a post which has been approved and voted by the people. So you are actually following, you are actually respecting the the mandate of the 2 lakh or 3 lakh voters. Am I right? So I think when you are working in consultation with them, or if they are the members of the cabinet or member of if they are council ministers, they are ministers, then obviously they have that mandate, that power as per law, as per the mandate of the people to frame policies, and they have all the power to make it sure that the policies are implemented. So in that process, if the directions are given to the field level officers or to the executive part of the government, we have to follow that, right? But the thing is, it should be within the parameter of law. There should be a healthy and I'll say civilized bare-homey or relationship, so that outcome should be at the end of the day for the benefit of the society, to empower the society and the humanity, right? So in that context, I think we should not see in that context of ego issues between the bureaucracy and the politicians. It's simply there is as per constitution, there is a clear-cut separation of roles and responsibilities and powers. So they are working according to the mandate of the people. We are also working according to the provisions of the constitution. In that spirit, I think we should have a look at this entire mechanism.
Sir, I'm first from class 9. Sir, do you remember the questions that you faced in your personality test or the interview?
Okay, so yeah, actually my interview mainly went on the subject of Japan-India relations, because I happened to visit Japan in my 9th class. There is one beautiful program of Japanese government, it is called Genesis. Japan East Asia Network of Youth Exchange Program. So according to that program, or as per that program, I studied in a government school called JNV, Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. So in all the government schools, be it JNV and KV, if some students are doing well, then the government of India and government of Japan has this memorandum is called Genesis. Under that, students who are getting good marks as well as good performance in the academics, they are being sent to Japan to study the culture of Japan for 10 days. So under that program in 9th class, I happened to visit Japan, Tokyo, Yokohama and Iwate province. So since before appearing in the exam, there is a form, it's called detailed application form that you have to fill up, in which you have to write all your hobbies, your strengths, your weaknesses, or if you are having any special achievement to your part. So on that basis, generally the members of the board are asking the question, right? So because I had written that Genesis experience into my detailed application form, so my most of the questions were based on this only. Second, since I am a history graduate, so on the history topic, in India-Sri Lanka relations in terms of history, this, and third, some questions on environment, because I have some environment Olympiad certificates on me. So it went like this.
Good morning, sir. Myself, Anu Trisa, from Standard 12, and my question is, on the basis of qualification, civil servants exam graduates from recognized universities, and my question is that how can you help the graduate students by selecting the subject?
Selecting the subject. Please. So there are two aspects of this. First, you take any subject precisely and primarily to crack the exam only. First. Second, you take any subject because you also have the interest in that. We should go for the second option, because when we are reading a particular subject for say 4 or 5 years, read that subject in case we are not clearing the exam first attempt, then we have to read it again and again for 3 or 4 years more. So a repetitive work we can do only when it has interest part in this, right? If somebody like in the what you call welcome address, principal madam was telling, if you enjoy the work, then it's not a day, then it's not a work. Am I right? Similarly, if somebody forces upon you to read a subject which is not of your interest for consecutive 5 years, then believe me, you will be under distress, pressure, and unwanted low feeling. Am I right? So even if we have to crack the exam, then also we can take a subject of our interest, then also we can clear. Right? What will happen? Okay, for example, if you choose the first option, okay, so the trend is going, for example, maths. I'm just giving an example. Okay, as per the analysis of last 5 years results pattern, we come to the conclusion that math is a subject. If we take that subject as an optional, then there is a high probability of clearing the exam. Right? But we don't have an interest in that, so we can read maths for 1 year, 2 years, fine. But what after that? In case selection is not there, then what we'll do? We will again change 3rd year. So are you getting? First. Second thing, if you are taking a subject of interest, maybe it is fetching or it is getting less marks nowadays. But in that case, you have to spend less time in the subject because you are already having an interest. So you are already having a good command on that. Right? So that time will be saved, and that time you can utilize for other subjects like general studies and all. Am I right? Third and last point in this regard, for example, if you are selected into the service, then also you have to use and you have to utilize your previous knowledge into the current activities or projects you are doing. Am I right? you are working as a SDM or a collector or a secretary in whatever capacity, you can definitely utilize your favorite and interested subjects knowledge into that current project also. So I believe we have to look in that aspect. So I went with my favorite subject, history. Although it's not that much of what you call marks matching, it's a humanities subject, so marks range is normal only in UPSC also. But I still went with that because I was comfortable. I had to read for some time, right? So I think that is the criteria. Two ways: either you purely go with the mechanical one, making analysis, and go with the marks matching subject, or second you choose your what you call the interest area, right? Okay.
My name is Vishnunaya, from 12th standard. My question is, most of the UPSC students prefer IAS or IPS. They don't choose even foreign service. Is it because it's more strenuous or less glamorous?
So, this also, most of people are choosing IAS and IPS. So it's difficult to tell me about most people, but I can tell about myself only. Alright, so I'll answer this question like this. See, there are two things. First, definitely individuals have their own priority. For example, if somebody wants to work at diplomatic and international relations level, like they are interested in dealing with the French government, for example, Rafale deal and all. They are more interested in dealing with Indo-Pak relations or other Indian neighborhoods relations, Sri Lanka, what is going on there, right? Russia-Ukraine war and all. If somebody is having that kind of interest, definitely they will opt for Indian foreign service, right? Now coming to the second point, if the person is having an interest like me, okay, I have to work in the field of health, education, or environment and different capacities, right? I have to work in the field of MC and RECA. There are so many people in the country which are living under the below poverty line. So that kind of, if you are clarity of thought and your goal is there, definitely you will join IAS, right? Third, if you are having an interest in policing, or for example, it's called uniform services. What is defense? What is our police? So if you have that, like crimes are very high in the country, and there are a lot kind of issues are with the what you call this law and order situation. Crimes against women, crimes against elderly population, crimes against children. So when this kind of your priority is there, then definitely you will go for the police service. So this is about the most of the people wala part. Now second, you also asked what is the difference between two. So that also I will deal with. So difference means when we are giving the examination, that is called the Civil Service Examination, CSE. So in that there are more than 20 options for services are there. More than 20. We generally are familiar with IAS, IPS and IFS only, right? But there are more than 20. Exactly it's I think 24. 24 services. So for example, there is a vacancy of 1,000. In the year 2022, UPSC has issued a notification. As per that, 1,000 people will be recruited under CSE, Civil Services Examination 2022, right? So out of those 1,000, people will be distributed, the selected candidates will be distributed in 24 categories of services. So one is IAS obviously, then second is IPS, police service, then foreign service, then we call in Hindi it's called Rajdoot, Videsh men, foreign countries, they are ambassadors, right? And high commissioners in the Commonwealth countries. Then we are in Indian Revenue Service. In revenue also there is a category, right? Income tax or GST. Okay. Then we are having excise and customs. Now it is coming that GST wala part. Then we have postal service. Indian Armed Forces Service, Armed Forces, AFHQ, Armed Forces Headquarters Delhi, Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, right? Then Indian Railway Service. In railway also, railway account service, railway defense service. So like this there are 24 services. So these 1,000 pool of recruited candidates will be distributed as per the available vacancies. So when the notification is issued by the UPSC, so the particular number and vacancy of a particular department and service also given. Right? So nowadays the number of IAS that every year is being recruited is 180. IPS is I think 130 or something, I'm not sure. So 180. So out of 1000, only 180 will be IAS. Okay. Now I am coming to the your last part of question. So then out of 1000, for example, all 1000 wants to be IAS, but vacancy is how much? 1? So 180 will be becoming. If, for example, they all want, it's not about like hierarchy wise. It's not like that. IAS is first, IPS is. It's not like this. Many people are there who are giving their first choice as IPS, even when they are getting very good rank, right? So it is that mechanism is also there. If all 1000 wants to join IAS, it's not possible because 180 is the strength and vacancy. So as per the rank list, who is coming somewhat having good rank, then they are getting this IAS. After that, if they are having a choice, so when we are filling a form that I talked the previous question also, detailed application form, in which we are also giving our choices. Like first choice, if I am selected, I want to become IAS. Second, IPS, 24. There is a choice also. So if your choice is, for example, IAS first, but as per your rank, you are not getting that. If you are getting, then Korpamilla. If you are not getting, then your second choice will be given. Even if you are not getting second choice, third will be given. Fourth, clear enough? So two things. First, it depends on the person's objective, what they have filled in the depth, whether they want to become IAS, IPS. It's up to them. First. Second, obviously on the basis of ranks and available seats as per vacancies, these are allocated. It's clear. So do you want to understand? I think you are also asking about difference between foreign service and this. Difference. Sorry, preference. So there are two IFS. One Indian Foreign Service, one is Indian Forest Service also. Just both are different. And there are only three all India services in the country. AIS. See, civil services different thing, but all India services AIS only three. IAS, IPS, and Indian Forest Service. This is also a piece of advice I am giving. Only three IAS. So not AIS. Sorry. All India, only three, IAS, IPS and Forest Service, Indian Forest Service. Indian Forest Service is a central service. It's a, not AIS, only three AIS. Okay.
Sir, I'm Irene Joseph from 12th grade. So my question to you is, what role does a civil servant play during emergencies? Currently we have a lot of rainfall in many parts of the state. So what role does an IAS officer have in such situations?
So I'll answer this question again in two aspects. First, the practical part. Other is please sit. Other is what you call this legal and on paper mechanism. So first, there is a agency called DDMA. Okay, District Disaster Management Authority. At the state level, we are having SDMA. State Disaster Management Authority. At national level, we are having NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority. So, we will take the example of DDMA. So, the chairperson or the chairman of the DDMA is always collector, district collector. So, generally, district collectors are always IAS officers. So, this is the first part we are playing, that whatever activity or whatever coordination needs to be required or needs to be done in the district parameter regarding any kind of emergency, be it flood, drought, landslide like we had Kottayam last year, or be it any cyclone like Taute last year, or be it health emergency like COVID for last 2 years. All these are coming under the category of emergency. So these are being dealt under the provisions of DDMA, District Disaster Management Authority. So that is the first role. Second, on ground, for example, I also happen to be an IAS officer. So as the capacity of SDM and as a capacity here in Kerala, we have a very beautiful concept called IRS system, Incident Response System, under which at every district For every taluk, there is a responsible officer. So district collector for the entire district. Below that, for every taluk. For example, in Kottayam we are having 5 taluk, right? Do you know the names of the 5 taluks? No. Oh. So it's Meenachil, Vaikyam, Kottayam, Chanashiri and Kadirapalli. Okay. So for every taluk, there is a responsible officer, either from the rank of deputy collector or from the rank of RDO or sub collector. So I am in charge of Kottayam taluk, right? So district collector is controlling the entire district as the head of the DDMA. At taluk levels, so I am having 2 responsibilities. As a responsible officer, I have to look and I have to take care of the Kottayam taluk, right? And as an SDM or as a sub collector for Kottayam subdivision, I have to take care of 3 taluks: Kandirapalli, Changanashiri and Kottayam, right? Meenachil Vaikyam is coming under other RDO of the Dispala. Okay, so in that capacity, I have to be in the ground. I have to be, any kind of emergency comes up, I have to coordinate with the Tehsildar team, with the, for example, if electricity issues there, or the KCB people are there, road issue, PWD is there. Then if there is any issue, toward some wastage and garbage has deposited, siltation is there, then the irrigation department. If issue with the fishes, the Matsya department, Matsya Vakupa, Meena Vakup, fisheries department. So like this you have to coordinate. This is the what you call this administrative structure. Now the practical part. For example, last time we had this second wave of COVID. So all over the country we faced the issue of oxygen shortage, right? So at that time the capacity or the installed capacity of all the health facilities was almost up to the brink. Be it our private institutions like Caritas Hospital or other hospitals, or be it our government hospitals, we were having a tough time. So at that time there was a challenge how to ensure that before the situation becomes uncontrollable, how we can ensure that there is a proper availability and sufficient availability of oxygen stock with us in our district. So what we did, I was the nodal officer for the oxygen war room. So with the help of the doctors and other team members of the war room, we within 1 week or 5 days we collected the industrial gas cylinders. The persons who are using the gas cylinders for industrial purposes, because due to COVID industries were shut down. So those cylinders were lying down. So we collected very rapidly. We sanitized them with the help of the procedure laid down in this industrial protocol. And after that, we are having a very good facility at Palakkad. So within few days we got them from there, and amazingly, for the entire 2 or 3 months period of this second wave of COVID, we did not face any shortage. We were always having sufficient stock of oxygen at that time. Maybe 1 or 2 issues, there was a panic demand. Otherwise, there was not such a single case we suffered because of lack of oxygen. But at the same time, we were having very unfortunate news from many other areas of the country, right? So in that way, this I am giving you a practical example that you are asking. So this is just about COVID. Similarly, for last 2 years, many activities regarding COVID. For example, NEET examination, I was giving example to your principal. I came here because we were directed to ensure that the COVID protocols are followed during the conduct of examination. So like this, there are so many activities in which directly or indirectly, administratively as well on the ground, we as a civil servant are trying our best to help the society and humanity. Right?
Good morning, sir. Myself, Varsha. My question is, there is a growing number of students who are clearing the civil service examinations in their own regional languages. So, in your opinion, how important is one's language skill in clearing the exam?
I think language skills
Without any doubt, it's important whether you clear the exam or not. I think it's nothing to do with the exam. Even if you are not going for civil service or you are not clearing that, then also it's important, the first. But I think the spirit of your question is that, what the role this language or the regional language are playing in selection. That I think I understood from your question. So see, obviously I believe, as I told you in the first, my reply to the first question that was asked by your friend, there are only 3 things. It should be 21 years of age, right? I'll again repeat, it should be graduation, it should be citizenry of India. Apart from this, what kind of language you are preparing for, with the help of which, I think it's not material to that extent. For example, in my batchmate, there are not many my friends from Kerala only who have cleared with Malayalam literature as an optional subject. So yeah, I have cleared from history, many people from maths and anthropology, like this. So I'll again say, see, if you go with the analysis of the trends of last 5 to 6 years, then definitely only few things will come out. You will not find the strong evidence that from the regional language also there is a good probability of selection. No. So on that basis, it's you are right. You should go for this called very sought after subject like geography, and all. But I believe if something has not happened in the past, it's not guaranteed that it will not happen in the future. We can do that, right? So take this on that spirit, and I think language is not a barrier at all. Not a barrier. You study hard now. For example, if you are taking a Malayalam as a medium, as well as Malayalam literature as an optional subject, we prepare it. We will stop you from clearing the exam. No. Only in the interview, Hindi, English are there. But even if you are speaking in Malayalam, then also they will provide a translator. So language is not barrier at all. There are 18 languages in Indian Constitution as per Schedule 8. So Malayalam, Tamil, Kannada, everything is there. Right? So two things I always believe in both sides. First, if you go by the trend, then definitely you will not find sufficient evidences to back your claim. Yeah, language is a very sought after option for aspirants preparing for civil services. No, but I believe if you go by that, the option is there. Nobody is stopping you. No bar is there. No regulation is there. You can go with it.
I am Evelyn Risa James of class 10A. So there are a lot of students studying for the Abhijit exams and only a small person get qualified. So how should we prepare ourselves mentally?
So sometimes questions are very simple, straight, also becomes sometimes tricky. So madam added the word mentally. So the entire join up the question is okay. So I reply like this. See, as you said in your question, I'll just supplement this with some facts. Every year, 9 to 10 lakhs forms the people are applying for filing for this examination. 9 to 10 lakhs, right? Out of that, 6 to 7 lakhs people are sitting in the exam. Actually, so 6 to 7 lakh people are appearing in the exam. 9 to 10 lakhs are filling the form, and seats are 1,000. I am taking the figure 1,000 average. Now it has been reduced to 800 only. So I will go with the latest figure of 800 on an average, and out of that 180 are IAS seats only. So okay, we'll take the figure of the person sitting in the exam, 6 to 7 lakhs. So out of 7 lakh, 180 are IAS. It means that competition-wise, if you look at the figure and facts and data, it seems very difficult. But I believe, again, it depends on what kind of attitude we are having. So, whether we want to be in 0.2 or whether we want to be 98.8%. So, remaining is 98.8, right? So, whether we want to be in that category or whether we want to be in that category. Okay, let me inspire and motivate you in more specific terms. I'll again refer to the same notification because I also used to get motivation from that only. Somebody asked about the motivation, how I was motivated. So because I also, as I told you, belongs to a very humble background and first generation government servant. So for me, these things were only motivating factor. Like, as I told you in notification, only 2 or 3 things are there. So when I became 21 years old, when I became graduate from University of Delhi, and obviously when I got my Aadhaar card, I was a citizen of India, right? So then I was definitely sure that I will make it through. Why? Because for your selection, you want only one seat. Please pay attention. For your selection, if you want to be selected as an IAS officer, you will require and occupy one seat or more than one seat. One seat? One seat, right? There are how many seats in the notification? 100? You want how much? So even if it is not 0.2, or even if it is not 180 seats, if it is only one seat in a year for the entire country by UPSC, then there is a probability. No. Then there is also a probability that you will be selected. So 180 is 179 more seats are there. Right? So this is the one aspect to look at the things. You only need one seat. So you bother about only one. Forget about 179. Right? First thing. And it's applicable to every exam. First. Second thing. You said mentally how to be. That was your specific question. See, I think as I told you, mentally, obviously there will be huge ups and downs. Okay. So for example, today I am speaking very confidently and very energetically in front of you. It does not mean that my journey was like this only. Right? So when you are, as I constantly telling you, when you are belong to such kind of background, so always that background will haunt you. There is no such example in your vicinity, in your family, in your relatives' background. So whether you are making a mistake by having such a big dream, whether you are committing a kind of disaster to even think of such a big dream. So yeah, that was haunting me also. And everyone, this kind of feeling is there if you go and see the market of Delhi. Then second, when you are at the age of 21 or 22, then definitely people will be there with the age of 28, 30. You look at the profile. In my best, 70% people are engineers. Many of them have left the job and with the package of more than 1 crore from Indian Oil, British Crude Oil, and one or two companies. There are 22 doctors, MBBS. After that, they have done MD and post-graduation. And there are people who are already into IPS, but they are again appearing in the exam to improve their rank and get the IAS rank. Can you imagine? And you are there as a fresh aspirant with no knowledge of previous employment or previous job opportunities, no prior background of any kind of family achievements, then you are in no man's land. So definitely this kind of feelings of insecurity and unsafety is there. But I'll again tell, this is if you look at this entire process as a journey of life, then it becomes very interesting. Right? Daily basis, in the morning you are feeling motivated and you are feeling that, oh, you will get the first rank. You will become IAS officer and you will be giving the lecture in the Mount Carmel Kottayam school, Franklin. Right? Someday. In the evening you are thinking that, oh, please just, pack your luggage and go to home. Just see another competition, and just settle it out. So yeah, it's always there. Now the point of mentally, these kind of things, when you some kind of planning, when you some kind of friend circle or relatives or somebody with whom you can go and share your feelings. So they can give you a honest feedback. Don't do this, do that, So similarly, when you have a habit of self-introspection, right? And when you do the mental exercises also. When you do the mental exercise means any kind of exercise you are doing, any kind of yoga therapy or any other Ayurvedic therapy you are following, any kind of meditation activities you are doing. Because along with physical health, I believe even the, what do you call this, I was reading the website also of this school, given the violence and given the, what do you call, the tough times we are having at a humanity level, then these things also require. So to specifically conclude my answer or my response to your question, the mental part is obviously there will be challenges of any kind. Their quantum can be high or low, but it will always be there. First, to deal with them, definitely we have to develop a strategy by doing exercises, by meeting the people, by reading good books, by trying to implement the small habits which can have a larger than life impacts on our attitude towards looking at the life and looking at the other people. I hope I made sense, right? Okay.
So my question is, why do most of the students from India prefer to go abroad for higher studies? Is it because the Indian education system doesn't match the standard of the international education system?
The question you have asked, I believe is beyond my stature as of now. It's a kind of great, kind of panel discussion on the status of education. So our Manorama friends will deal with this in the future seminars. So because to comment on the status of education in India and abroad, why they are going, it has many aspects. It has a great interesting aspects, positives as well as negatives. So when we used to prepare, so these kind of questions come in UPSC, either for the essay writing or for the general studies. So we used to read, we used to write all these topics, but I think now this capacity to comment on this will be, I think, beyond my power, beyond my stature. I will use the word stature, but I will tell you one thing, that I'll take the positive side of this. It's their choice. People are going abroad, they have all the means, they have all the freedom as per the constitution, as per the law of the land. So they are following their own dreams, own aspirations, and they have their own capacity to afford all that. So for us, I am just tweaking your question and trying to make it positive in the sense, I believe wherever we are or we have got an opportunity to study in whatever kind of institution, right? We should try to optimize that maximally, right? We should try to take benefit of that opportunity as much as possible. If we generate that sense of pride, satisfaction, and happiness, right, about our institution, then believe me, it will give equally or more than equal fruits and benefits to us. If we have that kind of attitude. For example, I will not compare the JNV with your school. I will take both of them as a great institution. So JNV is a government institution. So sometimes we have a very kind of, very casual attitude and understanding about government institutions. Quote and quote I am telling. I am not saying literally. Generally means people have. I studied up to 5th in a government, up to 12th in a government, graduation also a government college, and what? I am also doing the same thing. Same person who has done the Cambridge and all. So, okay, there is a benefit of that, there is a positive of that, I am not going to that. But what I am telling, for a positive sake of all of us, even if we are not getting an opportunity to go abroad, at least what we are getting is still great, because there are so many students who are not even getting this kind of facility. So how many students are still there? So they will be thinking, you see, these people have got the opportunity to study in Mount Carmel. We are going to this other school. Similarly, we are having a feeling, oh, they are going to abroad. So, with due respect to all the people who are taking independent decisions for their own life, with due respect, my point is, wherever we are getting opportunity, why we should not try and make our school of international status? Let the people from France come here? No. So I believe that attitude. So I think although I did not answer your question as such, that I am leaving open to Manorama friends, they will organize some other education kind of debate, then it can be dealt with. But for me, this is a positive sign. It's a positive attitude. Wherever we are reading, we should think that it's best in the entire world. For me, my institution is best. Right?